larger student group this time. We had a very small student group last time. And we have a lot of alumni for you guys today. Okay, so along this side over here, we have recent graduates. Can our recent graduates raise your hand and wave? Okay, so they can give you some insight, more immediate, right, as far as applying to college and financial aid stuff and what is realistic for you guys to be doing in the next year or two, depending where you're at in your high school career. And then all of our alumni, if you guys want to raise your hand and wave, okay, they are doing awesome, amazing things all over the place. And they're here to give you advice and to answer any questions that you have. I'm going to have everybody go around and introduce themselves and tell us what their name is, where they go to school, and then we're just going to open it up, and you guys can feel free to ask any questions, and then they can also feel free to interject things that maybe they feel you're not hitting on that are important. All right, so let's start with our recent graduates over here with Dwayne.
Hey, how you doing? My name is Dwayne, and I will be attending the University of Illinois Champaign-Urbana in the fall.
My name is Akira Hawkins, and I'll be studying at Brown University in Providence, Rhode Island.
My name's Autumn. I'll be attending Hampton University in Hampton, Virginia.
My name is Alexis. I'll be attending Central Michigan University in Mount Pleasant, Michigan.
My name is Jamie. I'll be attending University of Houston this fall.
Okay, my name is Deja. I currently attend Illinois State University, going to my junior year.
And you major in?
I'm a psychology major and a children's studies minor.
I'm Yolanda. I currently go to U of I in Champaign. About to be a junior, majoring in animal sciences.
I'm Emmanuel. I go to Wabash College, junior, majoring in philosophy, minor in political science and life studies.
My name is Maribel. I go to School of the Art Institute of Chicago in downtown Chicago. I'm going into my junior year in the fall, and I'm in the Bachelor's of Finance program in education.
My name is Eduardo. I go to the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. I'm a junior, majoring in English, political science, and secondary education.
My name is Melissa. I go to Lewis University. I'm a senior, and I'm majoring in criminal justice.
Hello, I'm Daniela. I go to St. Xavier University. I'm a senior nursing student.
I'm Camille. I go to Eastern Illinois University. I'm a senior, and my major is elementary education with middle level endorsement.
My name is Matt. I go to University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. I'm a junior, and I'm majoring in finance.
My name is Ana Lucia. I'm going into my sophomore year at Eastern Illinois University. I'm a journalism major with a political science minor.
Hi, I'm Taylor. I go to Ball State University in Muncie, Indiana, and I'm going into my junior year, and I major in pre-med and biology.
Hi, I'm Renita, another one at U of I Urbana-Champaign. I'm majoring in media and cinema studies.
Okay, so any of the students, what kind of questions do you have? What are you curious about as far as getting into college, going to college, what college is like? Anybody have a question?
Go ahead. So for those of you who go to U of I, can you describe like some of your experiences in the classroom, out of the classroom?
You go first.
Okay, I'm an animal science major, so some experience that I had inside the classroom, it's a lot of hands-on, working with animals. We actually go to the farms, we go to the vet med because it is a veterinarian school nearby, so we go there, like there's just a lot of hands-on work. There's also a lot of classes where, you take your general studies, you take your math, you take your chemistry. Those classes tend to be a bit bigger and less hands-on, so I really enjoy the more personal feel of actually working with animals because a lot of our students come from the Chicagoland area, so we don't have that experience being on a farm or being raised on a farm, working with cows and horses all day. So I really enjoy doing that. Outside the classroom, there's a lot of resources on campus, so pretty much anything you're interested in, anything you could think of, there's a club for it. So I would say just explore and, don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone.
Just go down the list.
Yeah, so in the classroom, being that U of I is such a big school, a lot of people thought that it was going to be like giant lecture halls all the time, but since I'm a humanities major, most of my classes are about, like, at the most this size. Even smaller, actually. It's a lot of, like, personal, I think, relationships with, like, the teachers sometimes. It's just, like, you have an issue, you have a question, you can go ahead and ask them. It's not, like, a scary situation. I have had some, like, gen eds or introductory courses where it is, like, a giant lecture hall, but they're very manageable just because you have a lot of resources. I mean, you have people around you. It is a giant lecture hall. You can make some friends. And you also have, like, so many tools around campus at U of I that can just help you with whatever class you may need. And just like she said, we have, like, over 1,000 RSOs, student groups. So you can go out of your comfort zone very easily at U of I just because there's so much to do.
Like the others said, you know, the gen eds, typically, at least from my gen eds, between like 300 and 700 students, like a little intimidating first, but once you get settled in, it's not that bad. You know, they're typically a little bit easier than your regular course work. And then once you get into like your, at least my major, like you're still gonna have a decent sized amount of people, like probably about this size as well. And you know, it's not that bad. You know, it's business stuff. It might be boring to some people, but outside the classroom though, college business is really nice. It's lots of resources, and they really help you with anything you need. Like if you're not doing well in a class, you know, if you're mixed, they will try to help you, like reach out to you sometimes if you're close with anyone. Like just make sure you know, get to know people, talk to them. They'll help you. You know, helps with internships. Like I had just this past winter, I had a job shadow and an internship at Granger. So they really try to help you out as much as possible. Just make sure you go out and find additional reasons.
What's Granger meant for folks that don't know? What's Granger?
Granger is a like large industrial like supplier. So they give like they actually do more than that. They're huge. They have like a lot of things, but they do like like AC units. What else? Other hardware like. If you're in some kind of like industrial field or like you're like building things, anything like that, you probably go to them for your supplies.
Also, like demographics wise, if you want to talk about what you actually see in classrooms, you're used to going here when you see a lot of people that look like you, that might be in your ethnic group, in your culture, in your background. When you go to U of I, you might be the only person of your background, of your culture, from your suburb or whatever. Like a lot of people don't even know what Blue Island is there because they're from like northwest suburbs. So just be prepared for that. Like I don't want that to shock you. You can be in your rec class and you will be like the only black female or the only black male or whatever. And that kind of surprised me, seeing as there's 30,000 students. But with the demographic breakdown, it's really like 6% black, 7% Latino, and like 15% international, and then the rest.
I have a question for the more recent graduates. How was applying specifically for each of you? Was it like depending on your courses, did you have to take different routes?
I know for me, I wish I would have put more thought into how I was approaching the application process, just because I applied to 6 schools, and each of them, they have different essay requirements. And another thing to pay attention to, I know a lot of you are younger, so this is really important to pay attention to, but if you have an idea of what school you're looking at, try and see what type of requirements they have going into school, because I know for Northwestern, if you took 3 years of a foreign language here, you were exempt from taking it at that college, and a lot of schools have policies like that, so that's something to look into and just keep in mind. But start writing your essays early, and make sure you send it to one of your English teachers or some teacher that you trust to proofread it, so that they can make it better, so you can just sell yourself a little bit better to each college, because it really does make a big difference.
With the essays, a lot of different applications, some of the questions are going to be similar. So try to like save what you wrote on the first one, and then like you can kind of tweak it. So you don't really have to write like 7 essays. You can just like change a couple of things, and it's good.
Yeah, I would like suggest that you guys start as soon as possible. Like especially if you know where you want to apply, start as soon as they open the application up, because things will happen. You will get
don't wait till the start of the school year. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's when it gets hectic.
You're gonna lose like track of time, and you're gonna, oh, I have this to do, oh, I have that to do, and it's gonna get in the way of applying for college. But applying for college is so important, and getting it done, getting it out of the way as soon as possible. You should just get it out of the way as soon as possible.
And also, you want to try to like go on like college visits if you can, like during the summer and things of that nature. Just in case, you know, if you want to like somewhere you would like to go. Say you don't know if you like a big school like U of I or things of that nature. It's beautiful. I love it. So I can't wait to go. But it's like you want to go down there so you can see the campus and actually see yourself down there, because you know, depending on what you do, you'll be there for 2-4 years. You know, if you transfer or something like that. So you want to actually like see the campus and see yourself there, visit dorms, look at the areas and stuff they have, libraries, things of that nature, just so it'll be your home away from home. So yeah.
And to add on to that, because I know for me, because my school's in Providence, Rhode Island, I only got to visit it after I was admitted. My mom wouldn't take me before. So definitely go on YouTube and watch videos if you're like looking out of state, really in particular, because if it's in state, you have a better opportunity to go out and actually get on campus, which is the #1 thing to do. But if you actually can't go out and visit, watch these YouTube videos, listen to testimonials, like how she was mentioning earlier, the demographic is really different. You said the Eisenhower demographic, and when you go to, I think really any school, it's a big difference. So just get used to that idea. It's a little bit of a culture shock.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't even go yet.
I mean, it's gonna be a little different for me since I'll be attending an HBCU, and that's which stands for Historically Black College or University. So the majority of the people that will be at my school will be black, but that doesn't mean that everyone's going to be black. There is a percent. What? Yeah, there will be a percentage of other students as well. But I mean, like Kira was saying, everywhere you apply is going to be different. No one's going to, it's all going to be different. It's not like Eisenhower at all.
Also, if you know your major, like what you want to go into, try to look for the requirements and like a certain ACT or SAT score that you need to shoot for, because sometimes they won't accept you if you don't have the right score or the right classes.
Just adding on to that, I don't know if this is a rumor I was hearing through the College of Business that U of I is going to be like lowering their like requirements for the ACT. Sorry, there is no requirement. Like they're going to be admitting a larger percentage of people with a slightly lower ACT score. Only a rumor though, so don't aim low. Don't hold me to that.
U of I has no requirement though. Like it's not like
there's
a hard
requirement. Yeah, but it's like there's a certain range every college has, and they're like basically just like extending that range.
Right, Daisy just came in. Daisy, would you like to introduce yourself and tell the kids where you're going to school?
Hi, I'm Daisy. I do a 4-1 program with St. Mary's in Notre Dame. So after 4 years, I graduate from St. Mary's, and another year I graduate from Notre Dame and take class.
And you're majoring in?
Electrical engineering, physics, and a minor in philosophy.
Questions?
Is there something you wish you knew in high school that you know now?
Oh.
Manuel, you want to take that?
It's like a lot.
Writing resumes and cover letters, because I've been trying to get a job. I've been applying. And I sent my resume to my mentor one time. She was like, I hope you're not applying to jobs with this. I was like, so in high school, I wish I would have took more advantage of the resources and learned how to write a very well-written resume. Also, I didn't know that your resume was only supposed to be 1 page. Mine was like 4 pages. That's one thing I wish I would have known in high school.
One thing that's big for me in college that I'm still working on is procrastination. In high school, like all the way leading up to high school, school was pretty easy for me. So I didn't have to try as hard. I could do something the night before, or a couple of nights before, and still get an A on it. In college, that works for some stuff, but most of the stuff it does not work for. You have to prepare in advance. In college, just like high school, the first day is syllabus day. You get your syllabus. You need to start planning, buy a calendar, write everything down, because you will be up all night, stressing yourself, crying, contemplating life. Yes. Thinking about dropping out, all because you didn't plan ahead for a paper that's maybe 5 pages long, which is not even long. I've written like 15-page papers, so that's something that if you don't already have that skill right now, work on like being prepared, preparing yourself early.
Go to the counseling center. Because, like, with my family and everything, like, as far as needing help from someone or, like, mental, like, instability or whatever, they're always like, oh, that's going to be in your record, that's going to mess you up, like, you're going to be applying for jobs, they're going to see that. Well, they're not. Like, it's confidential. They throw out your case after you're done doing sessions or whatnot. I had to go to the counseling center around midterm season because it just, you get so much work piled onto you, you'll be the most stressed in your life and you don't know how to deal with that level of stress. So you might need to sit down and talk to someone. You might need to go to a group session and like see that you're not the only one going through this or whatever. And I didn't know about this until like I sat in my job and my boss who's the resident director of my hall, he's actually going into social work and everything. So he's a big advocate for like psychology and all of that. And I actually have one of my friends just like, she had to like push me to go like, are you going to call this morning and make an appointment? And once I did, like it helped. But it's hard to go the first time. You might need a friend to like pat you on the back and be like, I went and they helped me. Maybe you should try it. But go to the counseling center, they will help you.
I think one big thing that like I wish I knew before going into college was like the importance of networking, and not like networking isn't like going to these networking events and just grabbing a bunch of business cards, but like sitting down and having intentional conversations with folks. I got an internship at AIDS Foundation in Chicago this summer just because like I knew someone, right? And they were like, "You looking for a job?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm planning on working at Dunkin' Donuts." And they're like, "Don't do that." I mean, it's just about like having intentional conversations. So, yeah.
I agree with that, and also just being more self-reliant, or getting used to being more self-reliant. Like I can't speak for everyone, but in high school, like I had to do stuff myself, like whether it was like just filling out certain forms or like doing like your FAFSA by yourself, because you're not always gonna have like your parents or family member to help you. Being self-reliant and networking, or if you're looking for some kind of resource, or you want to know if some kind of like office in your school will offer some kind of scholarship or something like that, then don't wait for it to pass you by. Like just go out and ask. Don't be afraid to ask a question if you think it's dumb. Like I asked someone about like I took a class that I didn't know wasn't required for the program that I was going to be in, and so that's like $6,000 wasted just because I didn't ask, or I thought that's what I had to do instead of just like asking people and having a conversation about it. So definitely get used to asking people, whether it's like emailing your college or trying to talk to like current students there. I used social media to reach out to students at the college because I visited there, but also wanted to get. I've heard that the testimonial that the college puts out is supposed to get you to go there, so it's going to be kind of different than like, they're not going to tell you what students struggle with there. But yeah, it's being more proactive, I think, in everything.
If you live on campus, do not study in your room. Don't do homework, don't do anything in your room, and put your phone away. You would get distracted a lot. There's going to be libraries, there's going to be multiple. It'll be very helpful. Do not study in your room. It sucks.
Just sleep, unless that's your space.
Yeah.
So everyone, and that's cool.
Honestly, have a good like work and life balance. Like don't ignore your family or friends just because you're stressed out. Because you will get to that point, like she was saying, that you're gonna want to cry because it is stressful. But don't throw what you have away. Don't keep your relationships. But then again, I've seen so many people, and I'm saying this honestly, ruin their college life by partying and getting kicked out of school and getting kicked out of dorm rooms, getting kicked out of residence halls. just because they were living in the moment and they didn't really realize what they were doing to themselves. College is expensive, and you don't want to put your family through that and ruin what you're doing.
I think being an RA actually scared me straight from that, because you see so many things, you're like, I want to do that to myself. I don't want to do that.
Can I just ask real quickly, how did AP classes, how do you feel AP classes prepared you for college?
Actually, for the AP Spanish thing that I took here for my major, because I'm going into Spanish, it actually knocked out 2 prerequisites. Not even that, not even on gen eds. It knocked that out of the major.
Wow.
So I got more free time, and then like we helped up with a study abroad. I'm taking more major classes when I go to Barcelona, because we set that up too. Like they actually set up a lot of things so that I can graduate on time, and so that I can like get everything in. I got a new minor and things of that nature. So all the AP classes actually help. So make sure you do them, even if your college doesn't take them, or even if it doesn't go directly towards something that's like a major or a gen ed. It really does help to like get you your mindset and preparedness for like what a college course would actually be like, and like, you know, that teachers won't always hold your hand. This is on you, and you need to study, and that you need to put in the effort and the work to actually get the job done.
Really quick, okay, so credits wise, all the credits I did get put me a semester ahead of grade. And then, but like the AP English classes, I have a lot of general ed requirements that aren't in my major, and English was one of them, so English was my blow-off class. And I still managed to do, my bad, sorry.
But when you say it's your blow-off class, was it because you were prepared for it from the classes here?
Yeah, I would say it's not that I promise I was getting there. Okay. So what is, I would say, in the classes for my assignments, I didn't necessarily prepare myself, but that's because I already knew how to write essays really well. There you go. We have a portfolio at the end of your freshman year. You have to put a bunch of your essays and you get your W. It's writing proficiency. So again, did not put too much time in any of those essays. I still got the highest standard that you could get. Whereas some of my friends who didn't have these AP classes barely got it when they put the effort in. So these classes really do help.
One thing that AP classes helped me with, specifically AP Euro, it was a lot of note taking. So it was a lot of reading and a lot of note taking. So in college, every professor is different, but generally, the professors do not hold your hand. They don't have time to slow down because you don't know how to take notes. You can't keep up, especially in a larger lecture hall with 300, 400, 500 students. So it's good to know how to take notes. Everything is not worth writing down. Every word is not worth writing down. It's good to know how to develop a note system that works for you. Words, keywords, you don't have to, you can write symbols, everything doesn't have to be written down. And AP Euro really prepared me for that because I remember when we first started, I was trying to write down the whole page, and so, yeah, the whole book. But then you learn how to narrow that down and develop, a few pages of notes that's still just as good, and help you understand. So that's one thing that helped me.
Just kind of piggybacking off of what everyone said, it definitely taught me responsibility and how to prioritize, even though my grades didn't reflect it at first. Yeah, right. I got straight A's this semester, so it works out. But going back to the responsibility thing, you're on your own. It's now you're the adult. You have the freedom that you always wanted, but you got to keep on top of your grades. You have to keep on top of your homework. And I know my AP classes, especially with Guzman and Lorero, with the note taking, that helped. It's whether you believe it or not, it does help. The Harvard outline does help.
One more
So-
time?
and so-
He was waiting on that.
The Harvard hotline does help. So no, but you know, the responsibility factor. Mommy and daddy aren't going to be there to tell you to do your homework, and they're not going to be there to tell you to study for that next test that's coming up. You know, so I mean.
How did you learn how to think critically about things, or especially in AP Lit? Shout out to AP Lit. Like when you have to read this essay and then answer these questions, and instead of having the prompts helped, and then when you go to college, those prompts kind of stayed with me. Like I had a class on human rights in the fall semester, or human rights, and it was learning. We had to read this book that said like inventing human rights, and it was like the French Revolution, and it was all about French Revolution. And I was like, okay, like I read the book, I wrote a good paper, got an A, and I was like, this isn't really human rights. This is only like that human rights, like other stuff is going on. So like just being critical of like what your professor is showing you. Also, don't just like take in what they say. Just don't be a sponge. Be a sponge, but be a critical sponge. Yeah, just getting used to like asking yourself why, like what you're reading. Don't just like blindly read it and write everything down.
Also, like, the applications, for especially on my AP site, that really helped me, where, like, you don't just know the material, but you know how to apply it to other aspects of life or other scenarios that weren't in your book. Because a lot of my classes have been application, not memorization. You have to know how to use this in everyday life.
One other thing that I would say, like, besides, like, the content area of the AP test, or AP classes, I feel like they just gave me this confidence going into college, because there are times where, like all those internet memes where like college students are all stressed out and like crying and stuff, like that's real, actually. So like I know a lot of us have probably gotten to that point, but like for me personally, when I feel like I'm struggling in a class, I think back to like AP US, where I was like up doing notes. Like the effort that I put in these AP classes really just prepared me in a sense of confidence. Like I already went through this AP course where I was like dying, so I can get through college because if I made it to college, I'm prepared, right?
Right.
I can go through it, right? I have this under my belt. That means I can keep going. So.
So like although like since you said like AP helps, how do you think the AP classes here compare to the real life at college? Are there any differences? Who you want to
So I took AP Psych here, and I went to college and I took Psych, and it was the exact same.
Yes.
I was like, I don't want to like downplay the class. Like, I kind of blew it off because like I already took the class. Like I basically already knew everything, so I just had to review old notes, and like it just came to me like that. So.
And people got bad grades in psych at U of I because it's so much memorization, but we already knew it's really good.
Okay, I took A-Push here, and I took history till 1865 my first semester, and A-Push was probably harder. By like a lot.
I did the
Like,
exact same.
unnecessarily.
I did the exact same thing, but I will say that like the big difference between AP classes and college classes, like AP, you're not writing 15-page papers. So that's the big difference. So like prepare your tears for that.
AP language, basically. It's the same thing.
I was just gonna say I had to take a government class, and it was his tests were the same test that Privilege had. Same questions, because they get them from the AP question test. Same thing. I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding. I remember the damn question from her test. That's so serious.
Yeah.
So
I would say like everybody can agree on the college. It definitely depends on the professor. Every professor is different. You might get a professor that's very easy, and you're like, why am I getting this class? And you might get a professor where everything is due on this day, as they say. But yeah, AP classes definitely do prepare you. Like when she was talking about AP Psych, I'm a psychology major, and I literally was able to use my notebook from junior year in college. I didn't have, besides, you know, adding stuff here and there, I literally used my same notebook. I didn't really take notes my freshman year, taking intro psych, because AP psych prepared me. And like they said, it's a lot of memorization. So going back to the notes that you took and the examples that you wrote already, you still have that in your mind.
And then I was just gonna say, the AP classes that you take here don't just apply to the psychology class that you take in college, or the English class that you take. I took a journalism and democracy class, and I used the stuff that I learned in Duckman's class. My notes, I'm not getting into using that class. So you can apply the knowledge that you learn in your AP classes with other things. You know, it expands. There's a wide range of elements that you can apply to.
I have a question for Kate. How's the bio pre-med track? Like, what's your experience with it so far?
It's a heavy struggle. I kid you not now. So if you like to go out and party, I tell you now, don't do it. Do not do it. Sitting in that room at 4 o'clock in the morning saying, I got a final, a test, a midterm, looking, I shouldn't have went out last weekend. I should have studied on track, did this chapter this time for this amount of time. Because when you get into the class, like first when you get into, the first 100 levels, it's like you start out with a class of about 200 to 300 people. That class will be at least 99 people by the end of that semester. Not even by the end of the semester, by the withdrawal state, it will be about 99 people left. You need to like buckle down and you need to study hard, or you need to like make a schedule for you, something that works for you, because in my first semester, I struggled because it wasn't that I wasn't comprehending the material. It was more like the test didn't make sense to me. Like their questions weren't making sense. So I had to go and talk to the teacher, so I can understand what they were saying. You have to make the connection with the professor so you can understand what's going on or whatever. That's your first step. If you don't understand what you're doing, you need to go talk to the professor or go to the tutoring center or something like that. Those people in the tutoring center are going to be your best friends. And you pay tuition at the school that's so-called free tutoring. Free. So take advantage of it because they have tutors for just about any subject that you take. So I know when you take genetics, you're gonna cry. Yes, I did. That final was the struggle of my life.
Taylor, I applaud you to get through bio because without a doubt we know that is the one that weeds out those who are going to be able to do it and those who can't. But like something you would kind of like what we were talking about there, and Rita kind of hinted this earlier, like advocating for yourself, and kind of getting over the maturity hump, which all of you, I could, even from last year, from some of you come back, I could just sense this, you're more mature now than you were a year ago. How important is advocating for yourself, whether talking to a professor, seeking out that help, going to counseling that just played for you and your success?
It's extremely important because, like, if you're down and out, so you sitting in your room and all you see is homework upon homework upon homework, and just, study guides upon study guides saying you need to study this. Like, they literally give you a study guide to tell you what you need to study for the test. And if you have all of that and you're just sitting there, you get depressed. I'm not gonna lie, you really get depressed, especially if it's raining outside. I just want to sit because I get really sleepy during like rainstorms and stuff. So if I'm sitting up there looking at the table, like I have to leave my room sometimes to go study because it will force me to study because like that's the only thing that's sitting in front of me. But you need to have a positive outlook on yourself at least. Because if you're not positive or it's somewhat neutral, you're just going to be sitting there, you're going to let things pile up to the point where you're stressing out, your hair's falling out, your hair's turning gray. And then the next thing you know, one day you might just wake up with a head full of white hair. Not me, but I know some people.
I don't have a roommate, so I had to go out of my way to actually see people because I don't really have to see see my residents that much aside from the shared bathroom, but I can stay in my room the whole time when I'm not on duty, which you shouldn't do. Like, don't do that when you have that job, but you can. And I know a lot of people who are like not there all the time, and they're in that job, and they like don't even know who their RA is because they don't see them. But not having a roommate really pushed me to like do other things so that I could find friends. Like I did belly dancing, I did a Miss Black and Gold pageant, I did I don't know, I did a ballroom dancing class, I did swing dance, like all this different stuff. Because you have to meet people.
Each and every, you guys all have a social life? College is fun for everybody? You guys all having fun stuff?
For me, me and my cousin were roommates. She was a junior when I was coming into my freshman year, so we were roommates. Luckily enough, I didn't have the first 2 years of that roommate from Hale, but that's up for debate for next semester. I'll be back for y'all, update for that because I got a new roommate. She was a junior, so I met all of her junior friends. And then I made some of my own, just going off, going to different clubs and stuff, because she didn't really do club life like that. And then I get there and I'm like, do clubs. So I said, okay, you're coming with me here. We went to boxing. We joined the, okay, they hate it when we call it LARPing, but it's not LARPing. And then they call it something else. I forgot.
Each other was fixed.
Yeah.
Live action role play.
You like math, I ain't trying to hear nothing from you.
And then we joined the
But you, so like, in college, when you're talking about, like, you have to have the stress reliever. I think Ms. Krilich had healthy living the other day in her segment. That has played a role in your success in college. And you should, I know you guys were all involved here at Eisenhower, whether it was in athletics or clubs or speech and whatnot, stuff, each and every one of you. So you would say, though you're taking these AP classes here, don't quit your stress relief. Make sure that you have that in your life.
You need something to motivate you. Get involved with something, because like most of the clubs that you get involved with, even in college, some of them require you to have a certain GPA, or like you can't be on academic probation being in a club. So,
And that's why it's so, I'm sorry, I was just gonna say that's why it's so important to get your homework and these assignments and these essays done on time. Or before, way before it's due. Delcorn used to say, his friend would say the hay is in the barn. I still say that. And after you finish, I don't know, I just remember saying that. So after you finish your homework and you finish those essays, then you can go out and you can do all the stuff with your clubs, you can go out with friends. No one here is 21, so when you're
It's 19.
I'm talking about 6 guys.
it's 20 in Japan.
It's 19.
One thing, just talking about like relieving stress and everything like that, like they said, it's important to get outside of the room sometimes. I know we're talking a lot about like studying and everything, but it is good to get out. My school is really big on education. Like pretty much everybody there wants to be a teacher, so it's a lot of resources around that involve kids. I want to work with kids, but I don't want to be a teacher, so a lot of the clubs that I get involved in, and even in my job, I work with kids. So for me, that's something that helps me relieve my stress, because when you're walking on the quad with first graders, like how could you not be happy? So that's just something. I had like a mentee, he was like 7, and it was just so cute. So it's just, that's something that it takes my mind off, like I gotta go home and write this paper after this, but it just takes your mind off all of the stress, all of the work, all the responsibilities you have to do, for me personally.
Also, like, if they don't have what you want, you can talk to the right people to bring it to campus. Because I know there's a lot of classes I don't have in my major as far as production-wise, because it used to be tailored for the movie critic, like after Ebert instead of like actual production, but now we want to actually produce movies. So I went to talk to the head chair of my department. I'm like, so what's coming in? Like, if we say we want this, will you bring it? And they'll have like a screenwriting class the next semester or something like that. And also, like, if they don't have the RSO you want, you can start that yourself, get a group of people together. I'm trying to do that right now for film, a registered student organization, so that is your club or group. Eduardo actually did that for the Lion Youth about it, to know about it for a little bit.
You did?
For a little bit.
I was gonna say, you can make more of an impact in your college than you think. I'm a public relations officer for a student association in my school, so I run all social media. But also working with the teachers, I was able to change the curriculum for oncoming sophomores for the nursing program.